Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to start building a really cool website. I decided to use a little project we have to do myself a while ago. So it's called, I want to call it Superbooks, and it's going to be a website for a library where users need to be registered and logged in order to retrieve books, see different users, see what books you have reserved, see what books are available to reserve. You can reserve them yourself and you can see what other users have reserved themselves. Okay, so that's perfect. I created a new table, a new database. I called it Superbooks. So as you can see in the connection.php, we have Superbooks, same password, username and server. Then I created a few folders here. I called one public. Then the SQL folder has just a SQL file that you can copy and paste into your terminal or command line, and so to create the tables. Okay, so there's going to be two tables: a book with an ID, a ISBN, price, reserved, etc. And there is a users one that has an ID, first name, email, avatar, which is a picture, company, and a password. Okay, so I'm going to upload those and you're going to see them in the description in the video. So those are just the files. The public has nothing for now. We'll put the JavaScript files in there. We have an include folder, which I like to call inc, and we just have files there that we're just going to include, like configuration files or connections. So we have the connection.php. For now, we're just going to use for the connection.php. We might add more files in the future, but we'll see how it goes. What else do we have? We have a retrieve. And then, sorry, we have functions. Okay, so we have this very nice folder that's called functions, and I just gonna call it this way. Instead of just calling retrieve, we're gonna rename them and just call it functions.php. We're gonna put the retrieve one into the include. We're gonna delete the functions folder, so we're gonna move it to trash. And instead of just call it retrieve.php, we're gonna rename it to functions.php. Okay, that's perfect. So when we include it, we're going to do functions.php. So in this video, we're going to retrieve all the users from the database. Okay, so I created all this function that is basically the exact same thing we had in the other video, just in a function that is going to require the connection, and it's going to select all users, and we're going to limit it to 10 because there's 1,000 users in the file, so we don't really in the database, so we don't really want to get all of them. If you want to add 50, that's perfect. We're going to execute it and we're going to fetch the associative array. Okay, so this file, this here, it means we're going to fetch in a way, so we're going to keep it as associative array. You'll understand this in a little bit, and there's a little mistake here we're just going to cover in a little bit. So we have a table that has an ID, first name, last name, etc, etc, but as you can see, whoops, functions, that's include, that's not functions. And instead of just a H2 connection to the database, we're going to call it Superbooks. Okay, so for now we're just going to keep it this way. We're not going to try to make it pretty for now, but we will in the future. So we have the table with an ID, first name, etc, etc. We're just going to retrieve all the users. We're going to limit it to 50, but we can, do whatever you want. So this function, remember, is going to get all the data and return the users. So we can just create here a variable called users, and we can get all users. So now users is a variable that has all the users. Remember, the function retrieves and returns all the users from the database, limited to 50. So let's just do a var dump here. We're gonna var dump the users. Okay, and you're gonna see the mistake I made now. As you can see, we have a user ID 1, string Paddy, Rawcliffe, or whatever it's called, the email, the city, a picture, a company, and a password. But we're set to limit it to 50. Why are we getting only 1? And that is because we're saying fetch. If we want to retrieve more than one value, we're going to have to call the function fetch all. So let's get that and look at that. Okay, as you can see here, there shouldn't be, it seems like there's 50. There's probably less than 50 because var dump has a limit of the things they can display to the user. So what we can do is, let's see how many there is. We can do var count and count how many objects there is, how many whoops. Oh, there's 50 there. Perfect. So users is a variable that has 50 users. Okay. So what we can do to display it. So we have a tr, a table row with table headers. Okay. So those ones that are going to be static. So what we want to do is we're gonna want to have a user. So for each user we want a row. Okay, so it's gonna be user 1, user 2, user 3, etc, etc. So we can do a for each loop. So for each users as user. So remember, this is a for each loop, which means that it's gonna iterate for all the users, and each user is going to be called user. Okay, if you want to do it differently, you can just do a for loop. And you can say for I is equal to 0, I has to be less than count users, okay, I plus plus, and then you can do that. So each user is going to be called users I, okay, so you can retrieve the information this way. But I like using the for each because I think it's more convenient, okay. So what do we want to do? So for each user we want to echo. The first one we want to echo is a row. Okay, so we want to open the tags of a row. So we're gonna open them and close them, and we're here we're gonna do something in between. So a good way to debug these things is to just inspect them. Okay, I'm gonna keep that normal. So as you can see, we have a table, we have a body, and then we have all these many rows which are 50. Okay, see, that's moving up and down. Perfect. But there's no information in each one. There's this one here that has this information, but the rest have nothing in between, okay? Because we haven't put anything in here yet. I think I'll increase the width a little bit. Maybe that'll be better. So what do we do? What do we need to do now? Okay, well, first of all, we want to echo the ID. So how do we echo the ID? Well, first we need to add a table data. Okay. And then we want to also echo the end of the table data, okay, just so we don't forget. And in the middle we're going to get user and ID. So for each iteration, get the ID of that user, and again ID because it's part of the table. Okay, so let's see what we get now. Look at that, we get 50 users and we get the ID of each. Okay, again, if you want to do it the other way, you want to do it with a for loop. Remember, we can do a for loop which is I is equal to 0, I is less than count users. Remember, count is a function that returns the amount of elements there is in a collection I plus plus. And now what we can do is we can just echo this. I'm gonna put it here. And instead of saying that, we need to do users dot I dot ID. Okay, so we're looping through each user. Okay, and then we're getting the ID of each user. Okay, so it's a bit more different, but see, we got the exact same output, exactly the same. It's just a bit. I like to do it the other way. Okay, but that's how you would do it if you're curious. So now let's uncomment this. So what we want to do is we want to display the ID, the first name, the last name, the email, the city, the avatar, and the company. Perfect. So look at that. We have all this information. Okay. So there's information missing sometimes because sometimes the person doesn't have a company, so it's not working. Some of them might not have a picture, but this is a link. It's not a picture. Okay. So we're gonna deal with that later. But as you can see, we copy one. We have a picture. See, it's just a robot. So each one of them has a picture, except some of them. So we're gonna have to deal with some errors like that. But that's okay. So we have all of that, okay? So if in the function we want to say we don't want to add a limit, then we're gonna have a big problem, because as you can see, we have tons of users. See how many users there is?
There is nearly 1,000 users, as I said before. So we might want to just limit it to 50 for now, because I think 50 is big enough. So that is perfect. I'm going to cut the video now and I'm going to go to the next one. I hope you understood what I did. If you didn't, well, just ask me any questions. You know, you have me on, well, you can just comment on this video, or if you have me on Facebook, you can text me on Facebook. Thank you for watching.